Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Arjun Chaudhary and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. In the headlines, Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the government intends to introduce uniformity in the banking system for everyone instead of catering to a reserved section of society. Guaranteed time-bound deposit insurance payment of up to 5 lakh rupees to cover almost 98% of depositors' accounts, says Prime Minister. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says 1971 war is a great example of jointness and integration between the three armies. Inaugurate Swarnim Vijay Parv at the India Gate to mark India's victory 1971 war. Over 132 crore and 93 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.36%. And centre asks states and union territories to impose curbs in districts reporting high rates of corona-positive cases. Senior scientist of ICMR RMRC Dibrugarh, Dr. Biswajit prepares a kit that enables detection of Omicron variant within 2 hours. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Kashi Vishwanath corridor in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu asked universities and educational institutions to play a key role in protecting Indian languages. Madhya Pradesh government organizes the first drone fair at Gwalior. And death toll in devastating tornadoes rises to 100 in the US state of Kentucky. In our top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that enhanced financing system and various reforms have been introduced in the last 7 years to benefit the poor and the middle class individuals. Speaking at the Depositors' First Guaranteed Time-Bound Deposit Insurance Payment up to 5 lakh rupees program in New Delhi, Mr. Modi said the government has always kept the interest of depositors first. He said in the last few days, more than 1 lakh depositors have got their money back, stuck for years, which amounts to more than 1,300 crore rupees.
आज देश के लिए, बैंकिंग सेक्टर के लिए और देश के करोड़ों बैंक अकाउंट होल्डर्स के लिए बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण दिन है। बीते कुछ दिनों में 1 लाख से ज्यादा डिपॉजिटर्स को बरसों से फंसा हुआ उनका पैसा उनके खाते में जमा हो गया है और ये राशि करीब करीब 1300 करोड़ रुपए से भी ज्यादा है। आज 3 लाख और ऐसे डिपॉजिटर्स को बैंकों में फंसा उनका पैसा उनके खाते में जमा होने वाला है, पैसा उनको मिलने वाला है।
The Prime Minister said the government has increased the cap of deposit insurance from 1 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees for depositors to build a sense of trust among them. He said the increased amount is a sense of security to the depositors in case any bank faces a financial crunch. He said increased depositors amount is a landmark reform in the financial system. The Prime Minister said earlier there was no time limit for a refund. He said now the government has made it mandatory that within 90 days, depositors will get their money back.
गरीब की चिंता को समझते हुए, मध्यम वर्ग की चिंता को समझते हुए हमने इस राशि को 1 लाख से बढ़ा करके 5 लाख रुपया कर दिया। यानी आज की तारीख में कोई भी बैंक संकट में आता है तो डिपॉजिटर्स को, जमाकर्ताओं को 5 लाख रुपए तक तो जरूर वापस मिलेगा। पहले जहां पैसा वापसी की कोई समय सीमा नहीं थी, अब हमारी सरकार ने इसे 90 डेज 90 दिन यानी कि 3 महीने के भीतर ये करना ही होगा, ये कानूनन तय कर लिया है।
Mr. Modi said guaranteed time-bound deposit insurance payment of up to 5 lakh rupees will cover almost 98% of the depositors' accounts. He said with this, the government has insured more than 76 lakh crore rupees of depositors.
इस व्यवस्था से लगभग 98% लोगों के अकाउंट्स पूरी तरह से कवर हो चुके हैं, यानी 2% को ही थोड़ा थोड़ा रह जाएगा। 98% लोगों का जितना पैसा उन्होंने है वो सारा कवर हो रहा है। ये जो हम निर्णय कर रहे हैं ना, इससे 76 लाख करोड़ रुपए पूरी तरह इंश्योर्ड है। 76 लाख करोड़ रुपया, इतना व्यापक सुरक्षा कवच तो विकसित देशों में भी नहीं है।
The Prime Minister said the government intends to introduce uniformity in the banking system for everyone instead of catering to a reserved section of the society. He said financial empowerment is our ultimate goal and the government will ensure to scale it to new heights with dynamic reforms for the common man. Speaking on the occasion, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, government has shown a commitment to the depositors. She said depositors and their interest has been kept high on the agenda. Mrs. Sitharaman said today is an important day for depositors and banking history of the country.
We have shown a commitment to the depositors. Depositors and their interest has been kept high on the agenda. It is shown in various different forms. One was to restore the health of the banks through the 4R principles where depositors' interests have been kept in mind, taxpayers' interest has been kept in mind, and as a result today the public sector banks' health has so improved that today they are able to raise money on their own in the markets.
Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikanta Das said depositors first is the guiding philosophy of RBI in all its actions and policies. He said deposit insurance facility in the country has come a long way. Mr. Das said the payment of the deposit insurance amount should be seen as a last resort. He said depositors also need to be discerning and they should keep in mind that higher rates of interest are usually associated with higher risk. RBI is always proactive to straighten all guidelines to protect depositors' interest.
Our focus is to protect the resilience of the banks and, more importantly, to keep in mind the interest of the depositors uppermost in our mind. Whether it is the banking regulations, whether it is our supervision methods, or it is any scheme that is announced by the Reserve Bank, depositors' interest is always kept uppermost in our mind. The payment of the deposit insurance amount should be seen, and we see it as a measure of last resort.
Union Minister Nitin Gadkari today said RBI's subsidiary Depositor Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation DICGC recently made a payment to the tune of 1,300 crore rupees to settle claims of depositors of urban cooperative banks which have been banned by the Reserve Bank of India. Speaking at a function of depositors in Mumbai, Mr. Gadkari said this payment has been made on the basis of claims made by the depositors of 16 urban cooperative banks which have been banned by the Reserve Bank of India. He said more than 1 lakh depositors had made claims based on which the amount has been paid in their alternate bank accounts. Speaking about the depositors' first guaranteed time-bound deposit insurance payment up to 5 lakh rupees initiative of the Union government, the Union Minister said it is the endeavour of the government to protect the depositors when a bank fails. Under this initiative, the central government has made a provision to pay up to 5 lakh rupees to the customers in the event of a bank sinking. Earlier, the depositor used to get only 1 lakh rupees in case of bank sinking or bankruptcy, but now the government has increased this to 5 lakh rupees.
Today inaugurated the Swarnim Vijay Parv at India Gate in Delhi. The 2-day Parv has been organized to commemorate 50 years of India's historic victory in the 1971 war and the Indo-Bangladesh friendship. Major weapons and equipment used during the 1971 war is being displayed along with the snippets of major battles. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Singh said, India has contributed to the establishment of democracy in Bangladesh, and today we are very happy that in the last 50 years, Bangladesh has progressed on the path of development. He said, the aim of the government is to keep Indian armed forces ready for any eventuality, and India is moving very fast in this direction. He said, the 1971 war is a great example of jointness and integration between the three armies.
यह पर्व भारतीय सेनाओं की उस शानदार विजय के उपलक्ष्य में है जिसने दक्षिण एशिया के इतिहास और भूगोल दोनों को बदल दिया था। 1971 के भारत पाक युद्ध में भारतीय सेना ने जिस अदम्य साहस, शौर्य और पराक्रम का परिचय दिया, वो हर एक भारतवासी के लिए एक अत्यंत गर्व का विषय रहा है। यह विजय पर्व देश की सेनाओं के प्रति हर भारतवासी के मन में एक सम्मान का भी पर्व है।
Over 132 crore 93 lakh doses of COVID vaccine have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Union Health Ministry said more than 89 lakh vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. The ministry said 8,464 COVID patients recovered during the last 24 hours and the national recovery rate stands at 98.36%. Till now, more than 3 crore 41 lakh people have recovered from COVID-19. The country reported 7,774 new COVID cases in last 24 hours. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Anup Kumar of Safdarjung Hospital, Delhi, appealed to the listeners not to lower the guards.
लोग थोड़े लापरवाह तो हो ही गए हैं। आप देख रहे हैं कि गैदरिंग्स बढ़ गई हैं और लोगों ने मास्क यूज करना बंद कर दिया है, तो ये चिंता का विषय है। तो मेरा सभी श्रोताओं से ये अनुरोध है कि प्लीज आप अपने गार्ड्स को लोअर ना करें। इस समय आपको 2-3 चीजों का ध्यान बहुत रखना है। नंबर 1, मास्क पहन के ही बाहर जाना है। नंबर 2, भीड़-भाड़ की जगहों से जाने से बचना है। नंबर 3, अपने हाथ जो हम वॉश करने के लिए बोलते हैं साबुन से या सैनिटाइजर से, वो करते रहें। और नंबर 4, अपने आप को वैक्सीनेट जरूर करवा लें। अगर आपने एक वैक्सीन लगवाई है डोज तो सेकंड भी लगवा लीजिए, और अगर आपने एक दिन लगवाई है तो भी आप तुरंत जाके फर्स्ट डोज लगवा लीजिए।
The centre has asked all states and union territories to maintain a strict watch on the COVID situation with focused district-level measures for containment of clusters of new positive cases. In a letter written to Chief Secretaries and Administrators of all states and union territories, Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan said that in case of any district reporting a surge in cases or a rise in positivity rates, intensive action and local containment must be initiated. He said 8 districts in 3 states, Mizoram, Kerala and Sikkim, have been reporting more than 10% positive rates in the past 2 weeks. Apart from this, 19 districts in 7 states and union territories have been reporting between 5 to 10% positivity. Mr. Bhushan said these 27 districts need to be monitored very closely. ICMR RMRC Dibrugarh, led by senior scientist Dr. Vishwanath Borkokoti, has prepared a kit that enables detection of Omicron variant within 2 hours. This is important because as of now, a minimum of 36 hours is required for targeted sequencing and 4 to 5 days for the whole genome sequencing to detect the variant. Internal validation has shown that the tests are 100% accurate. The kit is being synthesized in bulk based on ICMR RMRC Dibrugarh's design by a 100% Make in India Kolkata-based biotech company GCC Biotech in PPP mode.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government intends to introduce uniformity in banking system for everyone instead of catering to a reserved section of society. Guaranteed time-bound deposit insurance payment of up to 5 lakh rupees to cover almost 98% of depositors' accounts, says Prime Minister. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says 1971 war is a great example of jointness and integration between the 3 armies. Inaugurates Swarnim Vijay Parv at India Gate to mark India's victory in 1971 war. Over 132 crore 93 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.36%. Centre asks states and union territories to impose curbs in districts reporting high rates of corona-positive cases. Senior scientist of ICMR RMRC Dibrugarh, Dr. Vishwanath Borkokoti, prepares a kit that enables detection of Omicron variant within 2 hours. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Kashi Vishwanath corridor in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu asks universities and educational institutions to play a key role in protecting Indian languages. Madhya Pradesh government organizes first drone fair at Gwalior. And death toll in devastating tornadoes rises to 100 in US state of Kentucky. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Kashi Vishwanath corridor in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. The entire event will be streamed live across the country. Over 3,000 saints and dignitaries will participate in the event. More from our correspondent reports.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone of Kashi Vishwanath corridor in March 2019 and the project is ready for inauguration in record 33 months. The idea behind the corridor was to decongest the route to the historic Shiva temple and make pathways for the comfort of pilgrims coming for darshan along with giving the temple a grand look. The corridor connects the ancient Kashi Vishwanath temple with the two ghats on river Ganga. The corridor has been built over an area of 5,000 hectares and the estimated cost of this project is close to 800 crore rupees. The inauguration ceremony tomorrow is named Divya Kashi Bhavya Kashi, that is Divine Kashi, Grand Kashi. Aditya Shukla, AIR News, Gorakhpur.
The Prime Minister's office, PMO, has said that the Twitter handle of Prime Minister Narendra Modi was very briefly compromised. In a tweet, the PMO said the matter was escalated to Twitter and the account has been immediately secured. He said in the brief period that the account was compromised, any tweet shared must be ignored.
Vice President of India, M. Venkaiah Naidu, has emphasized the need for making regional and local languages as administrative language. He asked the universities and educational institutions to play a key role in protecting Indian languages and take forward research in such a way in which culture and traditions will be protected. Speaking after presenting the distinguished awards by Potti Sriramulu Telugu University in Hyderabad this morning on the occasion of its 36th Foundation Day, the Vice President commended the services of the university, which is the second one in the country to have set up for protecting the language and conducting research. He said in the wake of globalization, the culture and traditions will become the identity of communities. He also called upon universities to take steps to preserve language, culture, traditions, arts and continue research. Stating that inferiority among people about any language is dangerous, he asked the institutions to develop scientific terminologies with advanced technology so that the medium of instruction in education can be vocal and regional languages.
In Madhya Pradesh, the first drone fair in the country was organized at Gwalior. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that Madhya Pradesh will be made a leading state for using drone technology. Chief Minister was addressing the youths and farmers present at the Drone Mela in Gwalior on Saturday. The Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Narendra Singh Tomar, and Union Minister of Civil Aviation, Jyotiraditya Scindia, were also present in the program. A report.
Around 20 companies displayed their drones in the fair. Chief Minister said that along with agriculture, drone technology is also playing an important role in the Swamitva Yojana being run in the state. The Union Minister for Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Narendra Singh Tomar, said that drone technology is proving to be revolutionary for the farmers. Union Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia said that drone technology has brought new opportunities of development for the youth. He also informed that 5 drone schools will be opened in Gwalior, Bhopal, Indore, Jabalpur and Satna in Madhya Pradesh. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
And now let's listen to a special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
In today's episode, we pay tribute to freedom fighter Pa Thogan Nengminza Sangma, who was martyred on the 12th of December 1872. A Garo tribe leader, Thogan's name is immortalized at the Martyrs Column in Shillong, Meghalaya.
In 1862, the fierce rebellion of the Jaintiyas was put down. As the British advanced into the Garo hills in Meghalaya, they faced fierce resistance from the local tribes. Pa Thogan Nengmingsa, a Garo warrior, refused to cave in to the British forces who wanted to occupy his homeland. In December 1872, the British soldiers made camp in a village called Macha Rongkrek in the Garo hills. Thogan and his Garo warriors attacked the British soldiers. The British quickly roused themselves and retaliated.
From that point, it would prove to be a one-sided battle with the swords and spears of the Garo warriors, no match for the British guns. The Garos fought to the last man, with Thogan Nengminza dying during the battle from a barrage of bullets.
The British would go on to take control of the region, but the recognition of the bravery of Thogan and his sacrifice in his attempt to protect his land and his people has outlasted the British. We salute this great Garo leader.
Bapu ka sapna sunahra saakar kail jaye haman milke.
We also remember the freedom fighter, reformer and philosopher Baba Raghav Das, who was born on 12th December 1896.
In 1921, when Mahatma Gandhi visited Gorakhpur, Baba met him and got inspired to work for independence and serve the oppressed people. Later, Baba accompanied Gandhiji during the Dandi March. During the independence movement, he was imprisoned many times, the first being in 1921. Raghav Das Ashram in Bara was the epicenter of independence activities. He was very closely associated with Ram Prasad Bismil, and after Ram Prasad's execution, Raghav Das made a memorial for him at the ashram. After independence, Baba took an active part in the Bhudan movement of Vinoba Bhave. He initiated many educational institutes in Deoria, Barhaj and Kushinagar. The noble saint and philosopher left for his heavenly abode on January the 15th, 1958. The Government of India released a postage stamp in his honor in 1998.
We also remember freedom fighter Konda Venkata Ranga Reddy, who was born on 12th December 1890. Popularly known as K.V. Ranga Reddy, he fought against the Razakars of the Nizam of Hyderabad. After the integration of Hyderabad in India, Reddy served as the Minister of Revenue in 1959 and became Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh in 1961. He participated in the Telangana movement, and to honor him, a district is named after
We also remember freedom fighter Babu Genu Said, who was perhaps the first to be martyred for the cause of the Swadeshi movement on the 12th of December 1930. A mill worker in Bombay, Genu was influenced by the spirit of the Swadeshi movement propounded by Mahatma Gandhi.
On 12th December 1930, a cloth merchant named George Frazier of Manchester was moving loads of foreign-made cloth from his shop in the Fort region to Bombay port.
Near Bhangwadi on Kalba Devi Road, Babu Genu stood in front of the truck, shouting praises of Mahatma Gandhi. When the police officer ordered the Indian driver to drive the truck over Babu Genu, he refused. After that, the English police officer himself drove the truck and ran over Babu Genu, crushing him to death. This resulted in a huge wave of anger, strikes and protests throughout Bombay. We salute Shaheed Babu Genu Said.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
To commemorate the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav as Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with listeners on Monday, the 13th of December. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark Gold Jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact the National Consumer Helpline toll-free number 14404. Issued in the public interest by the Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, Jago Grahak Jago.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, one terrorist has been gunned down by a joint team of security forces in a gunfight that broke out between terrorists and security forces at Baragam in Avantipura area, South Kashmir's Pulwama district this morning. Meanwhile, the operation between the joint team of security forces and the terrorists was underway till the last reports came in. Further details are awaited. In Bihar, polling for the 11th and final phase of Panchayat elections in the state is underway amidst tight security. Polling, which began at 7 a.m., will continue till 5 p.m. Polling is being held in 38 blocks spread over 20 districts, including Darbhanga, Buxar and Nalanda today. In all, 63,718 candidates are in the fray. Polling is being held for 17,268 posts, including Mukhia, Sarpanch and Panchayat members.
All India Radio will visit 1,000 colleges and educational institutions to connect with the youth under the program #AIRNext during the next 1 year. Director General of All India Radio and Principal Director General of New Services Division N. Venudhar Reddy said the new initiative has been taken up to provide a voice to the younger generation in all AIR stations and in languages across the country.
The intention is to give a voice to the young people, young generation, in all stations of All India Radio in the country and in all languages and dialects. About more than 20,000 students will participate in this program during the next 1 year. This will give them an opportunity to express themselves and for the country to know the opinion of the youth, and it will also help All India Radio to establish a link, a connect with younger generations.
Manipur today observed Nupilal Day 2021, remembering the brave women folk of the state who fought against the monopolistic trade interests of the British colonial rulers in 1939. The observation was held at different places of the state. However, the state-level function was held at Nupilal Memorial Complex, Imphal, with the presence of the Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, state ministers, MLAs, high-ranking officials of the state government and the general public.
In the United States, the death toll due to the devastating swarm of tornadoes that ripped through Kentucky has risen to over 100. A swarm of tornadoes tore through a 200-mile path through the U.S. Midwest and South, demolishing homes and setting off a scramble to find survivors beneath the rubble. The affected states include Arkansas, Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, Mississippi and Tennessee. Now let's take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi is experiencing partly cloudy sky. It recorded a minimum temperature of 6 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 24 degrees. Mumbai is expected to have mainly clear sky. It noted a minimum temperature of 23 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. Chennai is likely to have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Kolkata will have a mainly clear sky. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Jammu will have a mainly clear sky. Leh is expected to have a mainly clear sky and the temperature will vary between -12 and 3 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky with temperature hovering between -5 and 15 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Bengaluru will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Puducherry will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Guwahati will have a mainly clear sky. Imphal will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the government intends to introduce uniformity in the banking system for everyone instead of catering to a reserved section of society. Guarantee time-bound deposit insurance payment of up to 5 lakh rupees to cover almost 98% of depositors' accounts, says Prime Minister. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says 1971 war is a great example of jointness and integration between the three armies. Inaugurate the Swarnim Vijay Parv at India Gate to mark India's victory in the 1971 war. Over 132 crore and 93 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.36%. Centre asks states and union territories to impose curbs in districts reporting high rates of corona positive cases. Senior scientist of ICMR RMRC Dibrugarh, Dr. Biswajit, prepares a kit that enables detection of Omicron variant within 2 hours. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate the Kashi Vishwanath corridor in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu asked universities and educational institutions to play a key role in protecting Indian languages. Madhya Pradesh government organizes the first drone fair at Gwalior. And the death toll in devastating tornadoes rises to 100 in the US state of Kentucky. For details